Hey there, everybody. How are you? Oh, I've been wanting to do this Facebook Live all day, but I just hesitated for a couple of reasons. And I'll talk about that in a second. But what I wanted to start with is this. Today is Giving Tuesday. I know that the holiday weekend, the Thanksgiving weekend, was all about shopping and giving to others, and I love the concept of Giving Tuesday. It's a chance to, maybe give to other organizations, to give. But what I wanted to talk about right now is the concept of giving to yourself. I know we're creeping up here on the holiday. Just ask you to ask yourself: are you being kind to yourself as we start this holiday season? As I said, I went to go, and I have a special guest with Kyla. She's with me, and we were just chatting about something on the way home, and I'm going to bring her in a second. But I had a morning that went haywire. I woke up and was great, and then in an instant it went haywire, and then I was able to identify why. But what I almost did, I will admit this, I will be vulnerable and raw and say I out on the wrong person, namely my husband. Came home, I went off to a meeting, and then I had a mindset shift. And I needed to come home, I needed to breathe, and go I actually went up in my office and said, babe, I'm going upstairs because I'm about to take this out on you. and I wouldn't have realized that years ago. I would have just taken it out on him, maybe found the littlest thing to pick at, because it would have made me feel good to just release what I was feeling instead of honing in on what the problem was. And I went up in my office and was able to find a mindset shift. I wanted to close the gap between what I felt was the adversity and my peace. And I was able to do that, but I wouldn't have been able to do that if I didn't start with kindness to myself. And ultimately being kind to my family. But I needed to take a minute and allow myself, let it be okay to be kind to myself, take a breath, and seek out the truth of what was really, maybe it was a trigger. That's a topic for a different day, the triggers that set us off. But the mindset is, what do we do to be kind to ourselves so that we can then turn around and be kind to our family? It's like, this Thanksgiving platter, trying to serve a Thanksgiving meal with an empty platter. And we need to recharge that and reset our mindset and be kind to ourselves, give ourselves a break. So I was sitting outside of volleyball. I was both of my girls, both had volleyball. The other one just ran in the house. And I was asking Michaela her thoughts, because I was asking her thoughts specifically about teens. So if any of you have teens, this part of the video is not only for teens, but for adults as well. But Michaela, we were just chatting. I said, what would you say? Because part of the reason we're not kind to ourselves is what do we do?
Beat ourselves up. We compare ourselves to others.
Yeah, that's a huge topic, and I have had people in this community write to me in my inbox if they wanted some coaching. And one of the things that has come up a lot is that they find women and people find themselves comparing themselves a lot to other individuals. So what were you saying? If you were speaking to a teen, someone your age, what would your advice be?
It's obviously easier said than done. You can't just go out and say, I'm gonna not compare. You can obviously say that. Then you tend to find yourself saying, oh, but she has nice shoes and I don't have those shoes. It would be really nice to have those shoes. Or that sweater looks really nice on her. I can never pull that off. It's also about your mindset. And if your mindset isn't in a positive state of mind, well, that's just a red flag instantly. Because you can't go out and expect yourself to be not self-confident if your mindset is, why do they have so much more money than me? Or you gotta start thinking more positively, and not everyone's gonna get everything, and not everyone's gonna have everything other people have. We're all different. And so I know as teens we tend to look at what other people have, and it's mainly physically, she has so much and stuff. It's never about really who they truly are, inside. It's more about their appearance And I don't know if that's like with adults, but I know for teens it's definitely with their appearance. And yeah, you just
you hit the I love your input. And I just did a teen program recently. Remember, you were at that.
Oh.
And so many teens, that's what they struggle with. And you know what I love about your insight, I would put it on both of us, but we can't both get in at the same time, that I love her insight. She's only 14, and I love her insight, because I'm talking to the adults now, there's so much that we gather, so much information. We're in charge of our trajectory, even though we may not think that we are, and we pick up so many thoughts when we're younger, real little, and then teenagers, and that mindset. Michaela, I am so proud of you for even being aware. It's a majorly empowered place to be, just be able to recognize that. And you are so right. So many people, and it's adults too. And that's what a lot of people have been writing me about. Why am I not good enough? Why I'm comparing everything. And it does often boil down to sometimes physical things.
Well, in the end, it's also not just like, people obviously are emotionally abused, but it's also like when you say, why am I not good enough? You are good enough. It's just yourself telling yourself you're not good enough. It's not, I mean, some people get emotionally abused and like they get told you're not good enough, but that's just them. A lot of the times, especially if you're saying I'm not good enough, that's just yourself talking. That's just the devil talking to you, because you just gotta like, once you start saying I am good enough and I don't need everything in the world to make myself I am, and I don't need everything in the world to like be loved, that's when you like hit jackpot.
Say that last part again.
I forget. Once you like once you start like realizing that you don't need everything in the world to like you don't need, like, shoes don't define who you are, and like your job doesn't define who you are. That's not what defines who you are. And if you make it out to be like that, that's what people are going to start seeing of you. But the second you start saying I don't need this to make me who I am, or to show people who I am, that's when you got it.
So what would your one piece of advice, your most powerful advice for teenagers that you've picked up along the way? What would that be? Well, maybe that is the answer, is working on self-love.
It's definitely and it's not like you can go to bed saying I'm gonna wake up with self-love, and wake up the next day and you're like, in the movies where they're jumping out of bed, singing in the shower. Like, there's definitely like, I've been through, like, I mean, I'm a teenager, I haven't been through like crazy stuff. Like, I've definitely like, it's just like a lot of self-doubt and like believing that you can't. That's when you, like, if you tell yourself you can't do it, you're not going to get very far. So I'd give advice to just really try to focus on self-love. And yeah, it's easier said than done, but the second you start positive things about you, or like yourself, and surround yourself by good people. Don't surround yourself by people who are constantly making you feel bad about yourself, even if they're not like saying it to you. You don't get that, they're not rubbing off on you on the right way. You got to start finding the people who really
your tribe.
And like, you have acquaintances. And you have a handful of, throughout your life, you have a handful of really close friends who your go-tos, and then you have acquaintances. And it's not bad to have acquaintances, but you also can't allow what your acquaintances say about you. Don't let what everyone says about you get like truly define who you are.
And isn't it important? Don't you think you have to trust your intuition? I mean, even it's hard as a teenager, but they make you. If you feel a wisdom, those are the people that you want to focus on listening to.
And I know for teenagers, showing your low network connection.
I know.
Especially for teenagers, like a lot of the times, I know you hear this, but like popularity. Like, I've learned that popularity has nothing. What your status is in high school, and I'm only a freshman, but like, what your status is in high school is not gonna matter even next year, or the year after that, or when you're in college. Because when you go to college, you, like, the handful of friends who truly love you will stay around, but everyone else will just go their separate ways. And so if once you find the people who you truly love and you don't worry about being Miss Popular and all that, then you truly start to like, that's when you truly start to feel confident in yourself. And once you're confident, you have self-love, and self-love can get you anywhere. And once you feel strong in your own skin, and when you're not when you're confident in your own skin, that's when you can do anything.
That's awesome. I love it. I really do. I wish we could both be in it. Can you come over? Both of us at the same time. Come over. Okay, I'll go over here. I love it. I love it. And you are so, girl, you're so wise.
I get it from you, girl.
Oh, girl, Jeez.
All right.
Go on. Okay.
Okay, girl.
Oh, I love it. And so, you know what you're talking about, Michaela. Some of it is there's many. One is counterfeit comforts, and so many teens and so many adults, we get caught up in the things around us that we seek to make us feel good about ourselves, and those things come and go. So it is a matter of curing and working on and developing a strong foundation, and that's easier said than done right here live. And that's why I love doing teen programs, and I know that I have some women's workshops coming up, and I love doing these Facebook Lives. They're just little tidbits of free content to just help us think about mining out the truth of who we really are, ignoring, resisting the temptation to believe in the negative self-talk and the limiting beliefs. And you are so right, Michaela, to find the right people to surround yourself with. And I know that's hard for teens. So if there's any teens watching this, find someone that you love, that you can trust, and that is a journey, and that is why I love doing the workshops, because we can get to the heart of it and work on things bit by bit about defining what it is that I am talking about here. So, it's Giving Tuesday, so it's about giving yourself a break. We all, even teenagers, you guys, give me a minute. A time frame where they were able to learn their exact serve, and then they found their sweet spot, and then that was it. They knew it from then on, and all they needed to do was perfect it and work on different styles. But that's an analogy for everybody comparing themselves to other people. Sometimes we go at a different pace.
Good things
we have different.
Come to those who are. But what is it saying? Happen to those who are patient. Right?
Yeah. Or good things come to those who wait.
Yeah.
And everybody just like the parallel analogy of a volleyball serve, everybody has things come to them at different times and in different ways. You got to be patient and trust.
Once you have it.
So it's a matter of trusting ourselves. I wanted to say ladies, but everybody, and trusting in the joy of giving yourself a break and taking a chance to breathe and doing the best you can to not compare yourself with other people, because everybody has their own form of magnificence. And what were you going to say?
I was just going to say, like, trusting yourself, because everyone's human, and humans were not made to not make mistakes. So when you put all your trust into other people, let you down, and that's when you probably hit rock bottom, because then you're like, oh, well, everyone I trusted doesn't trust me. But you got to start with trusting yourself and loving yourself. And that's why, like, when I talk to people who want to go in relationships, you got to trust yourself and love yourself first before you put love and trust into the other person. Because if you don't love yourself, you can't.
Girl.
You gotta be best friends with yourself.
Girl,
first.
you are so wise. And that is exactly what you were talking about with wanting shoes and having the next best thing, or the next relationship. It's a counterfeit comfort oftentimes, and you're going to end up, people and things are going to let us down. And that's just the way that it is in the world. But when you can have a rock solid foundation, and it does take time. Girl, I almost lost it today. My foundation almost crumbled because I had a rough start to the day. But luckily, I have gained some skills over time to close that gap between adversity and peace. But I did recognize, and I've been, or puppies waiting, that, as a lot of us know, it takes many years to develop that, and we pick up skills along the way. Anyway, okay. All right. Thanks, you guys, for watching. Thank you to my special guest, Michaela. Girl, you are wise beyond your years. So if there's any teens out there watching, just hang on to the truth of who you are. We are all born with a magnificence. We're born with it. And sometimes it just gets lulled to sleep over time. less like the Sleeping Beauty story. And it's just my encouragement, my hope that you can weed out the limited beliefs and the fake news, and trust that there's a magnificence in you, and mine it out, and don't compare it. Don't compare anything that you don't have or what other people are doing as a gauge to your magnificence. And all of us as an amen, girl. Okay, it's Giving Tuesday. Go give to yourself, because you'll have a much happier holiday. Okay, I'll talk to y'all later. Thanks for watching. Okay, bye.